Welcome back to cryptonight-upx, and today we'll be taking a look on how to mine Uplexa. First with Raspberry Pis, and lastly with the CPU you might have in your PC on Windows. UPX just had a fork at the end of April, so now it is more interesting again for smaller CPUs. Therefore I wanted to bring this to your attention and make a more specific video for a change. Before we start, let me say that when I do a specific coin tutorial, this is not financial advice, and I trust every one of you to do your own research before jumping onto a project. Also, timestamps will be in the first comment. So first, let's take a look at the Pi. Before doing anything, I'll do my best to get everything on the Pi to the newest version. For that, we type in sudo apt-get update. If you're starting from scratch, let me tell you that you will get better results if you're using a 64-bit distribution. I still had a 32-bit Raspbian on there. You'll see the difference later in benchmarking. We are basically using the same software in both examples. xmrig. There is either a version by Uplexa themselves or the xmrig CC version. Both work fine. We'll need to compile the mining software ourselves. So first we have to get the source code, and for that we use GitHub. So we type in git clone and the address where the source can be found. Then there is a command for some essentials, and no worries, I'll link all of these below for you to follow via copy and paste. Then the following commands to update. The updating process will take some time. Now that we got the source code and essentials, it's time to build the miner itself. And for doing that, we type in cd xmrig, which opens the folder of the miner. mkdir build creates a new directory for the build. cd build gets you in that directory, and then cmake ... and then make is the command for compiling. If this does not work for you, it means that some essentials are still missing. For example, I myself had problems here because OpenSSL was suddenly not where it was supposed to be. So I went back to the essentials install. After that, we just need a config file. So with Raspbian, we can simply do this in the graphical user interface. Create a new file, call it config.json, and I will also offer you an example config file in the description for copy and paste. Please mind to enter your own info for pools and wallets. Some factors which can influence your hash rate are the AV setting. You can try different values between 1 and 3, and also the max CPU usage will of course matter. I found my Pi to reach around 80 degrees Celsius with 2 threads. So I actually put it inside the case of a computer so that it gets passively cooled a bit. After that, no overheating anymore. After we have the config file, it's ./xmrig to start the miner. Please mind that you're still in the build directory. So the Windows users have the same software, but it's a bit easier, and you can find the download links in the description. I always recommend to directly go for GitHub links. Exclude it from your antivirus software, or it may be flagged. And to make it even easier, here we just have to edit the start command file in order to configure our software. Also here I'll offer an example in the description, and we have some commands to tweak our miner further. For mining UPX after the fork, we also need the cryptonight-upx 2 Then there are some other commands you can use to tweak your miner. For example, -t stands for the number of threads you want the software to use. xmrig is not so bad in doing this automatically, but I always like to have some low thread count starting files as well, in case I'm working on the machine. Here it will fully depend on your CPU you're utilizing and what else the chip has to chew on in the meantime. If you're going too high, for example, your PC might freeze after some time. After you've set it up, the software is ready to mine, and you will be starting it with the file we just edited. I've tested this on Raspberry Pi as well as older i5 and i7s as well as the Ryzen, and I must say that the results have been nice. I'll show some hash rates I've collected on screen, but since I've many chips on there right now, it's hard to tell you definite earning numbers, and especially post-fork mining can sometimes change rapidly. Still, I wanted to do this video to give you the opportunity to test it out. Maybe it's something for your older chips to do. By the way, last but not least, because you probably saw it in the benchmarks, yes, you can also mine UPX with your phone. It's also completely simple, and I'll link a video by Good Lee from iMineBlocks, because the video he made is still up to date. Just that there is a new version of the Android miner. I'll link an article for that below as well. I would not use my daily driver phone for that, by the way. I just tested it with an older phone to have it in the benchmark. So that's already it. After this video, you should be able to mine Uplexa with basically every device you own. For the Linux part, I want to give a big shout out to Noise in our Discord, who really helped me out a lot. I have to admit that I've been more than rusty working with Linux again. He'll be featured in another video very soon. If you want to do so, and if you deem it worth it, is of course your own decision. I try to be very transparent on that with the channel. I personally just like it that there are still projects left to concentrate on weaker chips as well. That was the last UPX fork was about. Thank you all for tuning in again. I wish you all the best, happy mining, and bye!